Hi everyone, this is Matthew Nunes and welcome to Medical Writing. So in this video, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the class and show you our Canvas site. If you've taken an online class at Miami before, you're probably familiar with how Canvas works, but each class is a little bit different, so it's good to explore and make sure you know where everything is on our Canvas site. So first, of course, over here on this is the opening page you can see when you open Canvas for our course. And I have an easy link here to the syllabus and the modules and my contact information down here. And of course, the helpful to-do list over here on the right. I would just note, of course, is that it doesn't necessarily list things in the correct order if you have more than one thing listed for one day. So the modules page really is the best place to go to make sure you're doing everything in the correct order. But let's start with the syllabus. And again, we have the link over here on the left as well. And I do have a printable copy of the syllabus here. It'll take you to a Google Doc. So if you prefer to have a printed copy, I do encourage you to print that out. The only thing it's missing, I think, is my bio. But the syllabus can be a long document. So if you don't want to spend too long scrolling, you can just print that out. So a little bit of information about myself here. And of course, a video introduction if you haven't seen that already. And my contact information is here. This phone is for my office phone. I'm not going to be in my office as much during the summer term, and the Middletown campus is pretty deserted during the summer. So I'll be in my home office. And so the email is the best way to get a hold of me. And of course, I'm always very happy to set up video meetings with you or phone meetings, whichever works best. Always happy to help out with any questions or issues that come up. So I'm going to tell you just a little bit about the class itself. You can read this on your own, of course. But really, in short, medical writing is introducing you to the range of strategies that are used in medical writing for both general and specialized audiences. So a lot of focus on audience style, different conventions for medical writing, as well as many of the different types of medical writing and what those types of writing are for. So it's a relatively general term. Medical writing encompasses a lot, as you're going to find out in some of our earlier class readings. But among the things that we will be addressing in this class are really these questions I have listed here. So we'll be thinking about, well, what medical writing actually is and who medical writers are, what the qualities of effective medical writing are, and also for the qualities of a good medical writer, the types of medical writing, as well as the different audiences, different types of medical writing, and the data visualization. Right, there's visual medical writing, which is also very important. So we'll be addressing some of that as well. And of course, the different modules will be focusing on different areas of that. So if our general course outcomes listed here, I'll let you read some of this on your own. This is also a Miami Plan Signature Inquiry course, and so you can see all of the details here on the syllabus. But I'm just going to skip down for the moment. The general way that these the modules will be set up. And again, it varies a little bit by the module, but generally you'll have an overview page, various readings you'll be going through, different materials. We might have a quiz. Not all of them have quizzes, but some of them have quizzes. Discussion activities. I tend to lean more on discussion activities because we get more interaction with each other that way, and other assignments as well. And then we have a major project for most modules, and we usually will be ending with a reflection frequently for each module. So that's kind of the general flow of things. As far as required materials go, everything is provided for you on Canvas. So I have lots of different articles already up here on Canvas, different links. And so you don't need to buy a textbook or anything. But of course, if you prefer to read something that is printed, you'll just be responsible for printing that material yourself. And of course, we also have the link here to our medical writing resources page from the library, which is great. The library set this up just for us, as well as our AMA style guide. And you may wonder what AMA is, and it's a citation style used in medical writing, and you're going to learn about that. So we have our own page that the library set up for us, and so that's going to be very helpful. Here's the general grading overview, and of course, you're probably already familiar with how to access comments. I usually will leave a brief comment at least on all of your assignments. And so depending on the assignment, there may be more detailed comments. So make sure you are checking back for those. But 50% of the grade is just all of those smaller everyday assignments that I guess we call general homework assignments. So that includes discussion activities, quizzes, peer reviews, other short assignments. Those are all part of that 50% homework grade. But we also have some major projects as well, and that's the other 50%. So as you can see, Module 2, 3, and 4, each of them has a major project. One is an essay, And then the other two are actually practicing different forms of medical writing, and then we'll be ending with a final reflection. So as far as late assignments go, this probably should be a given, but if there's something that's due by a certain date at a certain time, please get it in by that time. If you need an extension, just contact me. I do grant extensions if I think the circumstances allow for that. But do contact me if you just decide, oh, I'm going to submit this a day late or something with no explanation and without asking for an extension or something, you're going to get a late penalty. And some assignments might not get credit. So for example, if you do giving feedback to classmates and you decide you're going to turn in your draft the same day your final draft is due, well, that's kind of defeats the purpose of the draft, right? So this is why it's best to stay in contact with me if you have any difficulties and struggles. I know that things can happen. So I do try to be flexible as necessary, but the key is good communication. For the grading overview here for the grading scale, which is pretty standard. The schedule will be completely on Canvas here. Usually there's if you just go to modules, you'll see all of the dates. Everything is laid out there. I even have dates set up for readings pages just so you don't miss those. And then, of course, different resources. I did want to call attention to our academic integrity policy, because you'll actually also have a quiz on academic integrity, the policy. And you're generally familiar with this, but this has caused, there are new elements of academic integrity policies, including mine, with the emergence of AI. So that's one element of this as well. So with those, generally, of course, obviously, anything you produce for this class must be your own. You need, not to collaborate with others unless instructed to. And obviously, peer reviews are one form which is approved. But the same thing with you can't use materials from another course that you've written for that course instead. Any work that you use needs to be cited, things like that. So those are the general obvious types there. But in addition, the use of generative AI is not allowed for this class. And of course, I know that in workplace settings and even in medical writing, you'll see later that AI is used as a tool for different areas. But in terms of academics, if your AI is doing your writing for you, it means that you're not doing the writing, right? So that is a form of cheating. In fact, last semester I caught 7 people doing it, and all of them were found responsible. And it's very frustrating for me, though. And so please don't use AI. And I would also note that it also includes Grammarly. Grammarly, I know some people like Grammarly, but Grammarly is actually now advertised as an AI assistant and actually uses AI very heavily in most of its areas. So if you have an extension installed on your browser for Grammarly or one of those other similar AI powered tools, you will need to uninstall that for the duration of this class. So again, you can see all the details here. I include some general information about the sanctions that Miami has in place for somebody who's found responsible for committing an act of academic dishonesty. All right, so then we have other general policies here. I will let you read all of that on your own. And the course summary down here is helpful to see everything laid up. Again, it doesn't always list everything in the correct order, so the modules is the best place to look, which we'll go to right now. So in our opening module, we'll have some general pages that you'll need to view with some information. But to start out, we're starting out with some quizzes. So the syllabus quiz and the academic integrity policy quiz, those are both the first things due, but then we'll have also an introductions discussion. So this is kind of general information, general beginning of the course. For module 0, you'll complete that very quickly. And then we'll have the first module, which is focusing on what medical writing actually is. What is medical writing? And as you'll see, it's a broader term. It encompasses quite a bit. So you'll learn a lot about that. There's various readings about that with careers in medical writing as well. We have also attention to the style of medical writing. That's very important, as well as ethics and AI in medical writing. So those relate very closely. And we'll end module 1 with a reflection. After that, we'll have module 2, which is focusing on analyzing medical writing. And the focus here is really so that you need to learn how to understand the different types of medical writing that there are, but also, by analyzing it and looking more deeply into it, it'll better prepare you to actually practice it, to actually write, to do medical writing. And so that's what we'll be leading up to so before you actually practice medical writing, you'll be analyzing some medical writing first. And so we have some practice with doing that in this module, and it'll culminate in an essay in which you'll be analyzing an example of medical writing. And then we'll follow that up with module 3. And that's focused on medical writing for non-medical readers. And that's very important. A lot of medical writing we see, in fact, much that you have encountered probably, has been meant for that lay audience, that non-medical audience. And so I'll have some materials regarding audiences, and especially that lay audience, that non-medical audience. And so what you'll be doing for that project is you'll be preparing, I guess we're kind of translating or representing a specialized medical study or review article, and present that's meant for a more specialized medical audience, and you'll be representing that for a non-medical audience. And so again, more details are on Canvas, but that's a fun project. So that's where you actually get to practice some form of medical writing there. Then we'll follow that up with visual medical writing, and this is a very important area of medical writing. And of course, you probably know that some people are visual learners, and the same thing goes with in medical writing. It's helpful to visualize information, and so that's one thing we'll be focusing on here is presenting information in a visual form for in medical writing. And for this, there are various types of that, and for that project, you'll be doing a visual project. And there are a couple of different options you can do for that, one of which might have a more lay audience, the other one might have a more specialized audience. And then we will end with a final reflection. So that's kind of the real short of it. The other thing I did want to point out, and again, I'll scroll up here for the top so you can see this. Let's say if we see in module 1, for example, you'll see that something is due practically every day during the summer term. So we can see May 21st, May 22nd, May 23rd. Right, so May 24th, right? So we have all these days in a row that something is due just about every day. And that, of course, is because that we're fitting a full semester's worth of a course into just 6 weeks. And so it's less than half the time. And so if you had a class that you were meeting twice a week and you have something due twice a week, well, this means we have to, and this is, not quite a, well, 6 weeks is, it's not nearly as much time. And so we're going to basically have something due almost every day. So that'll mean usually Monday through Friday, some Saturdays as well. We do have a couple of holidays during the summer term that nothing will be due on those days. But other than that, you'll want to make sure that you make this class a part of your daily routine, so that it is something that you don't miss assignments for. Because it's during the summer term, it's easy to get behind fast if you miss some assignments. And so make it part of your routine, and check in with me if you have any problems or difficulties, of course. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. I'll let you explore the class on your own, read that syllabus carefully, and start out with our syllabus quiz and academic integrity quiz and introductions discussion. And then we'll go from there. And I'll be updating you very frequently. I'll be sending you updates all the time. Sometimes those will include video announcements as well. All right, so I look forward to working with all of you this summer term.